What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the after credit scene. It's good to be back with you guys, and before we get started, I need to make a little bit of an apology. This video is coming out a week later than I wanted it to, and I am super glad to be back with you guys because I've been sick for a couple of days trying to catch up on my day job and all those kind of things, and so it's been kind of crazy. But we're going to talk all things Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, including the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer that dropped in the middle of all this since the special presentation came out. We're going to talk all those things, including Easter eggs. So if you're not here for the review, check the description below, hit the link that'll take you right to the Easter eggs for the holiday special, or the link for the Guardians 3 trailer conversation that we're going to have at the end. Also, if you want to jump ahead to some extra content, myself and the astounding Cameron did a podcast episode where we talked Guardians Holiday Special and Wakanda Forever. So that link is also in the description below, as well as a little link up here, and it'll be the video featured at the end of this video as well. So glad to be with you guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We are well on our way to 160 subscribers, but 200 subscribers, and we need your help to get there. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll have some other content coming out over the holiday season. Let's get right to it. First off, I really enjoyed this show. Compared to Werewolf by Night, it did feel a little shorter. It felt really quick. I think that's partially a good thing. It's partially intentional, but the pacing of it was pretty quick. There was no villain, so the drama, the conflict in this presentation wasn't there, but that was really refreshing, actually. I was kind of taken back by it at first and kind of thinking, where's the conflict going to come in? But then after it was all done, I just really enjoyed the story, and it was good to see those characters again. And there were several things that they were able to introduce that I think is going to make Guardians 3 a little bit easier to start off without having to explain some of these extra little beats that they just went ahead and explained in this holiday special. So as far as a non-spoilery review, I thought it was good to see all these characters again. I thought there was some additions and some character arcs that they explored. They introduced some new characters, gave you some information about the Guardians that you might pick up in Guardians 3, but that they explained in this that they won't have to explain in depth in the Guardians 3 movie. So as far as that's concerned, James Gunn was absolutely right when he said there's some required viewing elements to this holiday special so that you can watch Guardians 3. Other than that, I thought it was a lot of fun. In terms of holiday specials, I was kind of wary going in, like, oh, this is going to be cheesy and this is dumb and how are they going to do this? But it worked out really well, and they centered it all around, Quill and experiencing Christmas and nobody else, having been from Earth, experiencing Christmas for the first time with them. And so it was actually really well done as far as that was concerned. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and there was a lot of really humorous beats in it, but it wasn't kind of this overboard slapstick comedy that some people really disliked in Thor: Love and Thunder. It kind of stayed in its own lane, so I really enjoyed it from that standpoint. Spoilery reviews coming up. We'll just go through the whole series. I'll give you just the plot in 2 sentences. The Guardians of the Galaxy meet Kevin Bacon, and now they're friends with Kevin Bacon. That's most of what happened. There were some reveals and some things that they added in there that made for a little more touching story. They give you the big reveal right off the bat that Drax has known for quite a while, that Mantis is Quill's stepsister. And then, of course, Quill finds out at the end of the episode, and it's a very heartwarming moment between him and Mantis. Maybe I'm wrong here, and you guys can correct me in the comments, but am I the only one that already kind of saw that coming? I've gone back and watched Guardians 2, and when Ego is explaining that he went to other worlds and, tried to create a child of his own, and was looking for somebody that he passed on his DNA to so he could have somebody with the same power as him. That coupled with the conversation that Mantis has with Gamora, where Gamora says, "Why are you here?" And Mantis says, "Well, I serve a purpose." I kind of tied those things together and just kind of assumed that, well, what other reason would Ego have to have anybody around that wasn't like him, or how would he have had contact with anybody? He's had contact with all these other species, and he never brought anybody back to him or to his planet, except somebody that he thought was his child. So I assumed already that Mantis had some connection to him. It was just never said outright. So when that reveal was made, I kind of was like, well, yeah, didn't we? I almost assumed, kind of in a Mandela effect moment, like, didn't they already say this? Maybe I'm the only one. Tell me in the comments whether or not you think I'm way off there, or if it was maybe telegraphed earlier on. I kind of always assumed that Mantis was one of Ego's children. They just never said, well, yeah, you're siblings. So it's fine, I guess, waiting for this moment to make it a reveal. I guess maybe the fact that Quill didn't figure that out or never thought to ask it just solidifies the fact that Quill is a little bit absent-minded. I don't know. It wasn't a plot hole for me. It was just like, I thought we already knew this. Maybe I jumped the gun, so to speak. Pun intended, I suppose. But anyway, that was a big reveal. You got some other little beats in there. The Guardians are now in possession of Nowhere. They bought it from the Collector, and you got the name of Quill's new ship after the Milano, which is the Bowie. So those little beats in there, you kind of got some of those things. There were some other Easter eggs that we'll talk about in a little bit, but as is par for the course, they've been playing with the Marvel logos. You got your special presentation logo. You got your Christmas Marvel logo with the lights all over it. That was a lot of fun. That was cute. I was interested where the opening song came from. I still haven't figured that out. I'll have to look into that some more. I liked the fact that they started off with the animated intro to bring back Yondu, but not in a live action kind of way. That it was a storytelling point, and you got his voice, and I really like that, rather than trying to cast some younger versions of Quill and Kraglin. I thought that was really cute and well done. They introduced Cosmo, so Cosmo is officially part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I loved that the way that they kind of did that character. He was a lot of fun. So my favorite name in the Guardians universe, or in the Marvel universe now, is officially the name of the leader of the band that plays on Nowhere. His name is Beezer McTakalak. That was really cool. He is actually found nowhere in the comics. I looked it up. It's just something unique that they created. And there's some interesting information about the band that we'll talk about in the Easter eggs as well. This is also the third installment of Guardians, where we see Groot dancing as the band on Nowhere plays to kind of introduce the episode here. You get a lot of shots of the different people moving around Nowhere, and the lines in the song are really funny too. This whole idea of these guys don't know what Christmas is, but they've pieced it together from the things that Quill has told them, similar to their conversations with Kevin Bacon, David Hasselhoff, all those different characters. And so utilizing those characters and having these aliens kind of try to go, well, is this what Christmas is? Is that what Christmas is? And then making a song out of it was really funny. There's some Easter eggs in that song as well that we'll talk about coming up, so stay around for the Easter eggs. So Mantis and Drax notice that Quill is upset. They want to give him a good present, and not understanding what is an allowable present and not a present, they decide that they're going to go to Earth and they're going to bring Kevin Bacon back so that Quill can meet Kevin Bacon. And they think Kevin Bacon is this big superhero guy, that he has saved the world multiple times. They don't realize that he's an actor, and when they do, that interaction is hilarious, and we'll get to that here in just a second as well. But they show up on Earth, they go back, and as they're walking around Hollywood, the interactions that they have with people in front of the Chinese theater, Drax trying to attack the GoBot that James Gunn now says is canon. So GoBots are officially a race in the MCU. maybe they go by some other name. In the comic books, an X-Men style Sentinel is actually what kills Drax's cousin, but they look a lot like GoBots. That interaction was hilarious. Mantis just being this giddy, almost naive type character, sees someone dressed up like Captain America and thinks that Steve is back. And she runs up and hugs him. And then just the interactions of them getting pictures with all the people in front of the Chinese theater not only was really cute, and I'm curious as to who those people were, if they were just extras or if they were actually like filming and letting people take pictures. But it also kind of explained, well, how do they have money to just go and get drunk at this bar, which is the exact next thing they do. As that happens, not only do you get a Flula Borg cameo, which is fantastic, and I love Flula and anything he does, but you also get another interesting Easter egg, and you'll have to wait around for that Easter egg. Drax and Mantis end up finding somebody that tells them via a map of the stars how to find Kevin Bacon's house. They go to Kevin Bacon's house and try to knock on the door. He won't let them in, clearly. He's watching Christmas movies. And they're able to kind of break into his house and end up chasing Kevin Bacon around his house, down the road, end up getting into a fight with some police officers, who Mantis gets her first ever fight scene that I've ever seen, and she makes quick work of the police officers and then uses her powers of persuasion there to calm them down and to calm Kevin Bacon down, and they end up getting him back to nowhere, presenting him to Quill, who is mortified and explains to them this is not how this works. They calm Kevin Bacon down a little bit, only to have him run off again. The interaction between Kevin Bacon and Kraglin, was really heartfelt and really great, and right down to the little joke about where Kira Sedgwick, who is actually Kevin Bacon's real-life wife, calls him on the phone, and Kraglin saying, yeah, we set up some cell towers here, and we have some satellites, and you can get 400 million light years worth of cell coverage, was just a funny little addition, like, okay, this is going to be a plot hole, so here. It's easy enough to just say something like that, but you think they have all this other technology, they should be able to figure out how to make a cell phone work in outer space. But Kevin Bacon coming back, getting to kind of end the episode with a song, and interacting with Quill, interacting with the Guardians, and the whole, see you at Easter type thing, was really funny. So again, now they're friends with Kevin Bacon. And the montage of gift giving was fantastic. The best gift, not arguably, but emphatically, is Nebula gifting Rocket Bucky's vibranium Wakandan arm. It'll be interesting. It would be really cool and hilarious to see some kind of short where Nebula actually confronts Bucky or sneaks into his house at night and takes his arm from him. Would be absolutely hilarious. And I think it would be hilarious. Here's my theory, that to make Rocket's arc complete of all of these different times where he, now you have to remember he has somebody's bionic eye, he has somebody's arm, he has their leg. Is he making his own robot that he has yet to unveil to people? All the different characters and their gifts and the interactions, Groot getting his Game Boy, and seeing Groot a little more grown up and that progression there, just made me even more excited for Guardians 3. And then we get our Guardians 3 trailer later this week, which was fantastic, and we'll talk about that after we talk about some of these holiday special Easter eggs. A couple of these things, like I said, the Guardians own Nowhere now. The name of the Guardian ship is the Bowie. From the get-go, the songs, the song right at the beginning with the band that is on Nowhere, the band is actually a group that James Gunn has used in some of his movies before. He's used a song of theirs in the movie Slither, pardon me. But it's a band called the Old 97s that James Gunn's a fan of, and the band is actually in all of the costumes and the get-ups, and they're singing this song that they have written about what Christmas is, right down to the windmill, Pete Townsend style windmill effect. That's something that this lead singer slash guitarist does all the time. The song itself has one of my favorite Easter eggs in it, and because these guys don't know what Christmas is, they're pulling things from the legends and the stories that Quill has told, and in their mind, Santa Claus has epic superpowers, and that's the line in the song, is that Santa Claus must have epic superpowers to not only make it to everybody's house in one night, but to be able to slide down their chimney, have all these presents for everybody, to know who's naughty and nice, all of these different things. In the MCU, in the Marvel comic universe, Santa Claus is an actual character, and he is an Omega level mutant, which means he is one of the most powerful mutants to ever be known or categorized. He's been good, he's been bad, he's been possessed by a symbiote before. All these different things where Santa Claus is actually a mutant, and he's in the comic books. And so just adding that little tease in there was really funny. It's just them making an assumption, doesn't mean he's actually in the MCU, but I thought the nod to the comics that, yeah, you're onto something there, was really cute. Again, the singer doing his windmill thing is not only because that's what he does in his band, but that's a Pete Townsend type thing from The Who, this windmill type guitar kind of maneuver. Was made popular back then by Pete Townsend, who, if you look back at one point, while he's doing that windmill thing, actually stabs himself in the hand with the whammy bar of his guitar and has to be stitched up by a doctor in the audience. Some of the other Easter eggs, the GoBots out front of the Chinese theater, the Steve Rogers guy dressed up, the Black Widow costume was one of the older iterations of it, not one of the newer ones. And then Kevin Bacon actually having a phone call with his real-life wife. The movie that Kevin Bacon is watching is an actual movie about Santa Claus and aliens. And you can look that up. Just Google Santa movie with aliens. I can't quite remember the name of it at the moment, but it is an actual movie. And it's kind of one of these cult classic type things. After Drax and Mantis get out of the bar, as the camera is panning down towards them, there is an advertisement for a Kingo Christmas movie. Kingo, alive and well, obviously, after the Eternals, still making movies, and they have their own holiday special. And you can see the 3 different versions of Kingo, I'm assuming past, present, future, that are part of what looks to be a Dickensian type of Christmas movie starring Kingo. The Batman reference in that movie, the other DC references in that, right down to the map of the stars, which includes the real-life versions of at least Margot Robbie and John Cena that I could pick out. And then the further just jokes on actors and superhero actors and all those different things when Drax and Mantis figure out that Kevin Bacon is not, in fact, a hero, but he is simply an actor. Drax and Mantis both decide that they hate Kevin Bacon because he is an actor. Not necessarily an Easter egg, but I think it's very telling and hilarious and almost kind of a poke back, even though it wasn't an intentional poke back. It's a poke back at guys like Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino and all these guys who would say that Marvel actors or superhero actors aren't actually superheroes. I thought just that dig back at like, ugh, they're actors, ugh, gross. Who cares if, do you go to a movie because you want to see a superstar, a celebrity? Maybe. But a lot of times, even if you go see a super celebrity, I saw a Tom Cruise movie, I saw an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Was the movie good? Most times, even though we might go because there's name recognition, we still want a good story. And Marvel has done an awesome job of connecting you with stories. Yes, you might go because you love Captain America, but if the guy that plays Captain America is not good, i.e. John Walker, then you're not going to like him, and you're not going to like the story. People may go because they like She-Hulk, but there's a lot of people that didn't like Tatiana Maslany. A lot of people like Guardians of the Galaxy, but they don't like Chris Pratt. It doesn't matter if you're a superstar or celebrity, people like good stories and they're entertained. And Marvel tells entertaining stories, even the ones that aren't as critically acclaimed as you would like, or as, universally panned or loved, like something like Eternals that has a lot of split allegiances. It's still an interesting story. May not be done as well as you'd like, but they tell good stories and they're entertaining. And so, again, just a little poke back at those things I thought was just culturally relevant, a little socially relevant, timed pretty well. I don't think it was intentional in that regard, poking back at them, but I really appreciated it. The last Easter egg in there that I really, really loved was pointing out not only that Yondu is the one who gifted Quill his guns that we've seen in all these movies, but you might have missed, go back and watch Guardians 1 when you see Yondu finally open up the Power Stone orb, realize that the Power Stone's not in there, that it is a troll doll. You end up seeing Yondu put that troll doll on his console with some other characters, with some other little baubles. One of which is the little blue glass figurine that he gets on Nova Prime whenever Xandar, that he gets on planet Xandar when he goes to try to find the Power Stone. The guy that's going to sell the Power Stone or buy the Power Stone from Quill. It's the guy that Yondu talks to in the shop that's like, boobly, boobly, boobly. There is a little blue figurine that Yondu buys. That little figurine is on his console in his ship, in his Ravager ship, right next to that little troll figure, which is right next to the little bauble that Quill gives to Yondu for Christmas all those years ago. So the whole reason Yondu has all those little things on his dash, so to speak, is because Quill is the one that gave them to him. So it was just another little thing that connects Quill and Yondu as this father-son type of relationship that Quill didn't even know he had, that he didn't really pay attention to, and that Yondu has felt for quite some time. I liked those little things. I thought it was really great. I think the story was a lot of fun. And then the little tease at the end with Rocket, Groot, and Cosmo, where they're trying to decorate Groot as a Christmas tree, and he drops all the lights. And then Rocket says, "Well, I guess we have to make another Christmas special." It would be really cool if they made them year in and year out, or Rocket appeared in another one or something like that. It might have just been a poke, but it would be funny if they continued to do things like this and had other adventures going out in search of Christmas presents. Would be a really cool story. So all those things were great. And then we get the Guardians 3 trailer a couple of days ago. There were so many great things in that trailer. Getting the views of the High Evolutionary, which is going to be the main antagonist there. Getting some shots of Will Poulter as Adam Warlock, and seeing, I'm excited to see how he's going to fit into all of these things, and how he kind of comes around. I thought he looked very comic accurate. I can't wait to see him in his whole get-up, because I've heard he's just jacked for this movie, and it looks like he's just going to be a great character, a great addition to that cast. The Guardians landing in their ship, the Bowie, on the planet that the High Evolutionary has kind of created, was a really funny moment. But getting to see those different spots, there's a whole lot of scenes where there are clearly some really high stakes and some things that happen in this movie. I'm really going to try my best to stay away from some leaks and stuff, because I want to be surprised in this movie. I kind of want to be taken for a ride and see what happens. I hope that Rocket is not killed, but I think as far as the stakes being raised and somebody being the catalyst for the Guardians going their separate ways or being split up, Rocket being the one to go, or being separated from them for some reason is probably the most logical. And I don't think something happening to Mantis has the same impact. Something happening to Drax makes sense. Maybe they both go out. Dave Bautista has kind of made it known that he's got some rubs against some of his interactions at Marvel and that kind of thing. And it would be a good way for him to go out. and to be reunited as a character with his family in that universe. But I think Rockets has the most emotional impact. And then a lot of this story is going to have Quill reuniting with Gamora, and I don't think you reunite them in this movie and set that up from Endgame moving forward just to separate them again and make it final. To give everybody their moment and say, hey, they're back together, and then just cut it off completely. I don't think they're going to go that way. So that's my take on it. But the trailer was great. It was excellent, and had a lot of really amazing visuals and some different shots that just make me really excited for the movie. The best of which was the music that they used from the 1990s song In the Meantime by Space Hog. Love that band. Love that song, and using that song gave me some hopes that that they're going to pursue a lot more 90s music in this movie. I think because Quill has been away from Earth, he doesn't have a lot of interaction with that music, but maybe there's an interesting way to kind of bring those things back in. You know, Quill obviously gave Groot a gift from the late 80s, early 90s in the form of a Game Boy, so him having some interaction with that time period and discovering that music, and especially the way that James Gunn has used music from these different decades and genres, this seems like a fitting addition. You think about that type of music, and you could kind of get a better feel for the style of movie you're going to get, but we've got quite a while until that movie comes out. Other than that, I'm interested to see what you guys think about all of those things that we talked about, the Easter eggs, the episode itself, the Guardians 3 trailer. Add those things in the comments. Share this video all across the multiverse. Please like and subscribe as always, and then check out some of our other content over here. We got tons of things you can sink your teeth into. And as always, guys, when the next one drops, we'll catch you right back here. Later.